I'll tell you a story that happened 4 weeks ago with a very dear friend of mine. His name is Rabbi Yaakov Gibber. He's the Rav of the Boca Shul, one of the Boca Shuls in Florida. He took 25 fellows to Eretz Yisrael, and they were going to go to the war front and give chizuk, and they were going to the north and to the south, all the places where people were displaced, to try to give them chizuk. And he told me that the first day he was instructed, this was part of his program, that he would speak to the soldiers and try to give them chizuk. And then after he finished speaking, a fellow came over to him. The guy was wearing a yarmulke with a long ponytail, and he said, "Rabbi, can I speak to you privately?" He said, "Of course." He said, "Rabbi, I haven't put on tefillin in 10 years, since my bar mitzvah. I was there in Nova. I was at that concert on October 7th, and I was there with hundreds of men and women that were killed. And I saw the drones and the parachutes coming down. And I saw Hamas coming out of those parachutes and just shooting everyone. And I just started running for my life. I didn't know where I was running. I just ran as far as I could. And I saw a forest. And I ran into the forest as fast and as far as I could. And then I saw a ditch. And I just jumped into the ditch. The ditch was 5 feet down. And I bent down so that nobody would see me. Rabbi, I was in that ditch for 5 hours. And I waited till the screaming stopped, till the crying stopped, till the shooting stopped. And when it was quiet, I crawled out. And I got to a highway. By that time already, the Israeli soldiers had come down south. And one of them picked me up and took me to a highway where I was able to get home. But Rabbi, I want to go back to that ditch. And I want to say Shema Yisrael in that ditch. Could you come with me? I'm afraid to go alone. But I want to say Shema Yisrael. I haven't said Shema Yisrael in 10 years since my bar mitzvah. And Rabbi Gibber said, "What's the question? Of course I'll go with you." And he hired a bus with security. And 8 chevra went down together on that bus with Tomer. That was the name of the soldier. And Rabbi Gibber. And he told me they came to where the concert area was. Of course, he was familiar with it. And they showed them where he ran into the forest. And he took them to where that ditch was. And they all stood around that ditch. And Rabbi Gibber had brought dozens and dozens of pairs of tzitzis for any soldiers that would want. And he said to Tomer, "Put on these tzitzis, and then we'll put on the tefillin." And the guy's standing around there crying. This guy's putting on tzitzis for the first time in 10 years. And then he puts on tefillin. And then he says to Rabbi Gibber, "I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go into the ditch alone. Could you come with me?" And Rabbi Gibber said, "Of course I'll come with you." And they both climbed down into the ditch. And Tomer started crying. The guy with the ponytail. The guy who hadn't said Shema in 10 years. And he's crying, "Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad." That's the only thing he knew. Baruch Shem he knew, but that's it. And Rabbi Gibber led him through the rest of the parsha of V'ahavta, all the way till Uvisharecha. And everybody saw that today is when Yidden want to reconnect.